was always the goal. You know, we move here, but we do road trip. And so, yeah, we headed to Tarifa. Are we disturbing you or something? Because I was thinking it's saleable, but I'd never even heard of the place. And then I got a phone call. I think it was Antoine Albert and a few others going, come to Bologna. Bologna's going to be going off. And I'd heard of Bologna, which was, it's another hour or 45 minutes south towards Tarifa, the closest we'd ever be to Tarifa. So we're like, right, come on, we're on a road trip. We've got to make the most of this. And we drove down. Never seen so many windmills in my whole life, like windmills everywhere. A really cool drive actually coming into Bologna, and there's this big old bull on the, you know, the top. From a distance, it looks like such an amazing sculpture. Then you get close, it's just basically a cardboard cutout, big cutout. But it's got a really cool image if you've never been to Spain and seen the cutout of the bull. I think it's like super sick. Got some big cojones on there as well. But as you drive down into Bologna, if anyone's ever been, just such a cool view, and then you see the bay. And I didn't know this, but we got down there, so many windsurfers. If you ever are feeling like windsurfers dying, or you know, it's on the decline, let's say, go there. It was just windsurfers everywhere, everyone smiling. It's such a windsurf friendly beach, like just really, again, big long beach, wind with a Levante wind from the left. There's like a cafe come bar on the beach, grassy rigging area. You're like, this is absolute gold. And apparently when there's swell, on the left hand side you can get this breaking wave. That's what I was hoping for, but when we got there, it was pretty flat, and I had my mind set on waves. So we stayed not for long, had a little chat with a few people, and also apparently kite surfing is banned there. There was a few kites, but I heard it's banned. Down in Tarifa, apparently it's like a proper shit show. So anyway, we didn't stay long. We were like, I had a phone call from Emmy, who was back up at El Palmar, and he said, oh, we're going out, we're rigging 4750. And I was like, oh my life. So right, jump back in the van and we drive straight back. We got there, they were out, I watched for a bit, it looked all right. And then by the time I'd rigged up, the wind had kind of dropped to nothing. So that was kind of it. A few more beers on the beach. Because we'd heard about the cops, the police, you know, turfing people off for sleeping there, we actually went to Canister Mecca to basically sleep in the cafe restaurant car park, because we also thought apparently there's a duotone demo day. It was the weekend and it was forecast windy. We might not get a space, and if you're not in there early, there is a lot of cars and a lot of people around. So we went and parked there for the night, woke up in the morning and the car park was rammed already. There was kite surfers everywhere. The duotone fanatic boys were getting all their gear ready. There was some people rigging 3.4s, 3.7s. I think Victor was on a 4.0 or something. So, you know, and it went pretty much like, well, let's go. On 3.7 or 4.0, I think, but it wasn't a windy 3.740. And the place, if you're watching the video now, which you probably are, you're going to go, it looks like Pozo. And if you've ever been to Pozo, it is the carbon copy. It's like someone's picked it up and put it in Spain, or the opposite way round. There's rocks down the bottom end, so you can imagine like the bunker down the bottom end. But the way you launch is just a big old sandy beach. There's a lot of kite surfers, on the upwind spot. There is a few down the bottom end where we were sailing, where the waves are breaking, but not as many. And you get some, you know, empty runs, and it's basically just perfect for jump runs. I thought this would be a great spot to do a clinic, because you just launch off the beach, you head straight out, and there's just ramp after ramp after ramp. It's windy, and we didn't get a windy day, and it was windy, but I know the days that we left afterwards actually got super windy down there, and you could do some massive jumps. I didn't do too many massive jumps, but I had a good time. It was like I hadn't jumped on port tack for probably over a year, and it felt so good just to be back on port tack, you know, doing some forwards, doing some back loops or whatever. Not much wave riding going on. The last time I was there, it was actually really fun for wave riding, but the waves weren't quite in. So yeah, that, like I say, Victor Fernandez was there, Nacho, and the boys were going off. Should actually say Marino Gill was there as well, Antoine Albert. There was just like a who's who, and as I said before, all the duotone boys. So Vilma was down on the rocks having a horrible time, because filming down there, it's like Pozo. The wind's blowing, you're on the rocks, the spray's coming, and then, you know, you're quite far away from where the beach is. So if you've got, you know, your better half, could be a boy, could be a girl, filming you, it's very hard to communicate to them you've come in. And there was kind of a funny moment where I came in and I'm waiting for an hour, I'm messaging her and nothing was happening. And then she came back like 2 hours later going, oh, I've got some good stuff. And I'm like, babe, I've been in for 2 hours. She goes, no, you came in, you changed sail, you went back out. I'm like, that wasn't me. So we've got a lot of footage of this bloke on his simmer doing some pretty cool moves. Yeah, exactly. But like I said, at least he's going to be happy. Get in touch with me. I've got lots of great stuff. Can work it on your back loops and your forwards. There's some great stuff. But I reckon the downwind spot with a bit of a wave could be fun. And the rumour has it that when the wind comes from the other way, because as you can see with the footage, the waves breaking off that rock, it's kind of going the wrong way. But you imagine wind the other way, apparently it can run from the outside reef all the way in, and it is one of the best waves to ride. Apparently, I haven't seen it, I've seen pictures and it looks epic. Nacho says next time he's going to give me a call. I'm expecting that call, mate. I'm expecting that call. Then we met Pepe. Anyone who's been following Windsurfing.TV will know Pepe, the forward loop video. Like I said, we met him, and I was meant to meet him the next day. And I'm just going to take this to apologise. I'm sorry, dude. Because we then had a phone call from our northern Spanish friends who said, we've got to go because the secret spot is on. And it's kind of on the way home. And it was like, do I stay Canos to Mecca, which we've already sailed, or do we just embrace the road trip and just go on this goose chase and hopefully it works out? Needless to say, 12 o'clock at night, I'm driving up past Seville and I'm on the road because this is one of my favourite spots.
I can't begin to tell you I am swarming in her way. Love's adoring.
This spot is always a gamble. You never know if it's going to come through, if the waves are going to come through, it's going to be enough wind. So there's a lot of things, but when it's on, it is one of the longest waves I've ever sailed. obviously it wasn't big enough. We wanted it at least double the size, but it is such a fun wave, whether it's tiny or whether it's medium. If it's breaking and you've got enough wind to sail it, I think there was one wave I got maybe 5 aerials. Now they're not the best, you know, big aerials or thrown. It's a small wave, but you can imagine if this was double, triple the size, how good this wave would be. And you know, people say, oh, don't promote this spot. I'm not promoting this spot. Lots of people know about this spot. I'm not going to mention it because those who know. But I don't think it's ever going to be busy because it needs the stars to align. And there's a massive walk, like a massive walk. And you can get there and it's rubbish.
I can't begin to tell you I am
Probably takes you 2 hours of walking and prep, and you've got to get there. And you know, there's just so much hassle, and everyone, you know, when I ask anyone to come sometimes, most of them say no because they can't be bothered. So, you know, it really, what do they say? You know, he who dares wins, or what is it? If you don't go, you don't know. And I'm a big believer in that. Ever since I've done my Aussie road trips, I'm like, you got to go. You just got to go and hope, because when you get those days, I've had a day there before, let's say, just epic, just such a fun wave. But it probably only works 5 times a year or something like that. So statistics are not great. Really good to see like a load of windsurfers. There's quite a few kite surfers there, obviously, some wingers. Who I did have a few run-ins with a kite surfer, a winger. I've had a run-in with everyone, but there is no point in getting stressed there because I had a couple of waves where my riding was just rubbish because I was so tired. You know, we'd done all this road trip, we'd just come in and I just drove all night, woke up and walked up there and I was so tired. So you'd get this long wave and I really wanted to be on point, but I was just missing everything, but the wave was perfect. So that happened quite a lot of times, and I've just finished the wave and just fall over, just go, God, I'm absolutely done. But definitely worth it. We actually scored 2 days like that. I mean, in that whole road trip, it was just a massive tick. And we thought, like, I'm obviously there with my girlfriend. My girlfriend's filming. She is the new Windsurfing.TV camera woman, and she's doing a great job. But it's not easy, you can imagine. So we did have a little treat. We went for a steak in probably quite expensive restaurant just to celebrate, which was just funny as hell. But I won't go on about it, but it was a really cool view. If you ever go to where we're going, which you won't know where it is because I'm not going to tell you, but there's a great steakhouse.
Please film it, go for this.
Cookie Monster? Cookie Monster. Monstro das bolachas.
So yeah, there we go. That was like our first proper road trip in the van. I always have people asking me, you know, like on the channel about the van. How's the van doing? Well, since we bought the house, which as I told you is like a massive project and a slow burner, the van has just turned into, well, it's just turned into a transportation. You know, it's got a mattress in there. We lived in it quite happily, you know. We've got a fridge in there, we've got the air vents, we've got the swivel seats, everything was okay. But by the time we'd finished, it looked like a bomb had gone off. It really did. It was just carnage because it's not really set up for living in. And when you've got cameras and all that stuff going on, there's just stuff everywhere. So I will make another van video. Maybe I'll give you an update of where we're at, and then maybe you guys at home can suggest things to do, because we want to do more road trips and we want to get involved with other, you know, pro riders and normal riders, you know, normal guys out there, and sail spots together. Maybe we can kind of announce it and do like a weekend sort of get together for Windsurfing.TV where, you know, we'll go with the camera, we pick a spot which the forecast looks good and we film everyone, and then we make like a video about the weekend. So it's not like a competition. We can even give out little prizes for like best wipeout, someone who's traveled the furthest, make it more like a community sort of get together, like a send it weekend or something. I'm just coming up this off the top of my head right now, but when I'm talking about it, I'm thinking that could be really cool. You know, I think it would be a really good idea because, you know, the windsurfers need to stick together and we need to keep this community going, and that is what we're trying to do here on the channel. Also got to mention, you know, Canister Mecca I think could be an amazing spot for doing some coaching, some Send It Academy coaching. You know, the downwind spot for jumping, upwind spot. So, you know, you'd have to be a certain level, you know, probably learning to forward, do some jumps and wave rides and maybe aerials and that sort of stuff. But if you like the idea of maybe doing a clinic down in Canos on a Levante forecast, yeah, that could also be an option. So yeah, there we go. Massive thanks to you guys for tuning in. Massive thanks for the camera woman. She's done a really, really good job. We are now off to France. So I don't know when you're going to be watching this video, but we'll see you for the next one. And like, if you don't like that video and you don't subscribe, we don't know. So like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. The Mecca.
We are out of card.
When?
30 seconds ago.